beautiful people. This is Daybreak Africa and KAFTAN celebration, where we imagine a beautiful world. My name is Miracle Odunayo.
And my name, as usual, still stays as the other Joshua Adeji. Good morning and welcome once again to Daybreak Africa.
Good morning, wisdom.
Okay, that's the show. Treasures is still Daybreak Africa, and yes, it's time to go straight to our discussions for today. Today is going to be a discussion that I guess many Nigerians would like to listen to because at this particular time there is a frenzy in town, which one of it is a frenzy of Ponzi schemes. Like we tagged this discussion today, Nigerians' romance with Ponzi scheme. Will it ever come a time where Nigerians would ever fall victim? What is it about Ponzi schemes that makes Nigerians love it so much? Is it that profitable? Is it something that Nigerians should venture into at this particular time? Well, to discuss with us today, we have tech entrepreneur, also social commentator, an economist of excellence. Is also a writer to a very large extent. In the person of Samson Fadele, who happens to be a friend to the house. Samson, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. So it's a bit like I said earlier, and with people like in the car park, I mean, since they do public holidays, I also buy at the above the know.
Thank you for liking my name. But start with the discussions from time.
Now we also what happened with CBEX. I think CBEX is the latest stuff out there, and many Nigerians coming out. I saw a lot of videos out there. We've been making appeals and talking to people, trying to encourage them that it's not the end of the world for the past few days and all that. But what's your take on Nigerians' romance with Ponzi schemes? Why do Nigerians like Ponzi schemes so much?
You see, Nigerians generally, the whole of Nigeria itself is a lot of risk. So people inside it, we live in Nigeria, with the mind that everything is risky. So to take risk seems like a normal thing to every average Nigerian. There are some level of risk that does not really look like risk to Nigerians. If you are from other places, you wonder how you just do things this way. Do you not fear, accident or anything will happen to you? But Nigerians will just look like, what's happening to this one? This thing is normal here, we'll just do it. And it is what it is. Yeah? If another one comes tomorrow, Nigerians will still be there. So that's who we are. And we cannot run away from the fact. We take risk. Taking risk seems to be natural to us here in Nigeria. I don't know about other places, but when it comes to risk taking, give Nigerians their flower. They deserve it.
So if you that's why we love Ponzi schemes,
See, everything about us is almost like Ponzi. Isn't our political system? It's like Ponzi. Who you vote for, you don't know what you will do here. Yep, road. So everything is risky. Everything. There's no business you start in this country today that does not have a percentage of risk in it. That you have to, at some times, you don't even have power over it. You can only hope that it will not happen. And you just do it. To travel in this country, to travel with the hope that you are going to come back alive. I'm telling you, for you to go out in Nigeria, you go out with the hope that you are coming back alive. You cannot be 100% sure. You can only hope. But that will never stop you from going out. You will still go out. A lot of people go out daily and they do not come back. You hear it, you say, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, hey. And tomorrow, you don't back where you're killing. And so that something is risky and it's not scary to an average Nigerian. Like you said, this thing, you get risk, they say, you think you will die, and don't say you will die, you will lose money. They are not though. A lot of people, although there are a lot of conditions to consider to be part of these things, but it is not all of us that are very much aware of some of these things. Some people did it because they trusted other people. You see, because somebody is saying do it, do it, do it. So you put one or two together and do it because you trust the judgment of. Meanwhile, the person you are putting your trust in now does not have 100% control over the situation. He said the hope. Say Jogo.
So my hope is about it. So
Yes. So all of us say hope. Say Jogo spoil. And if he vertically spoil, he does spoil with that. Okay. So To Nigerians, I'm talking from my own perspective now. How I just feel it is. To Nigeria, no risk is too risky for us to fake in Nigeria. And that's why you see whoever is making it in Nigeria is making it big. Because no risk is too risky for us in Nigeria. These are the people who could risk their life to cross Mediterranean Sea just to get to Europe or whatever. What risk could be greater than that? They know. At the other hand, they might not even be able to make it, but they are still willing to take the risk. So if it involves life and we are still going ahead with it, how much more with what? So if you see any Nigeria anywhere making it, just know that these people, they are perpetual risk taker. Risk to them is not really risky as you think it is, and they are willing to risk their life if that is what it needs to make it.
So from your end, you're looking at the positives of it and the negatives.
Combined.
Sure.
Combined. The issue is when there's a system that has a tendency to like double your money within the space of 2 to 3 months, your mind should tell you that it is high risk.
Extremely high risk.
Yes, because that's about 30 to 35% increase in your money per month, and you still want to go and put your money in that. People are very much aware. 30% every month. Where would they be getting the money from? To give you 30%. If you put 10 million in such a system, you make 3 million every fucking month. Now, where do you expect the money to come from? What are they selling drugs? To be able to make that kind of money, no bank in this world will give you that kind of interest. No, but there's no business you will invest your money and they will give you that kind of interest every month. But Nigerians don't care. They just want to put their resources and see the money come. Maybe because of the economic situation, maybe because that's who we are, maybe because risk is not risky enough to us. I really do not know, but that's who we are.
I feel like it's because of the economic status, because it's really alarming the way things are going. People just want that money that will be enough to take care of their responsibilities.
If you think it is economy, then I think the wealthy who are not really badly affected by the economy should do happy. She's what I have said it who had more than $68,000. You see the
That's the back there.
magic. So now, if we want to pity those ones with $1,000, $2,000, $500, so $60,000, are you telling me the person is poor to be able to afford that kind of money? That's
close to 100 billion.
Nigerian naira, yes.
Wow.
So what are we saying? All of us are just the same, whether you are rich or poor. Risk taking is not this controversial. It's part of business.
But I used to think Nigerians have, or Nigeria as a society, have a kind of culture that doesn't accept risk. I remember growing up, if they ask me that till tomorrow, one of the things that they will always keep hammering on your ears. They even have songs for it. I remember, I grew up. I'm from Edo State, but I grew up in Lagos all through. So the deep Yoruba and all that. The women tell you, "Ma pete o da." And that is, if you bet, if you are involved in gambling, very involved in extreme risk, you will lose everything and all that. That is the story they will keep telling us all the time. But I don't know. So they are having a kind of system where even down to youth, everybody is taking very squad. I was very shocked when MMM started, then Rocksteady, then now we haven't CBEX. There were some in Benidi too as well, but I think these are the 3 most popular that Nigeria ever experienced. I remember that one of them, even pastors, people that were telling us, and I asked myself a question then that, what happened to your morals? I don't know. Let's even ask something about Nigeria's moral. Are we really moral?
When it comes to money,
Let's go to money.
Pretty selective. Our values and morals are not against business. You see risk the way you want to see it. If risk is business to you, you see it as business. If risk is danger to you, you see it as danger. If risk is an opportunity to you, you see it as opportunity. It depends on the way you say divide your risk. Some people, you might be seeing danger from a particular risk, and another person elsewhere is seeing opportunity. And another person is seeing business entirely. Say, okay, this is dangerous, but we can still make our own money from it. Another person will say this thing is dangerous, but this seems to be the biggest opportunity. Once it lands like this, I might not even do another one. But she lies coming back. Coming back. Hope that thing stops working if you never leak away. And that's who we are. So only few percentage of people in Nigeria really see risk as danger. Every other person, because we have the tenacity to make it, is always there. That's why you see Nigerians, when they get out of the shore of this land, only few are not really productive. Only few. Like the larger percentage of Nigerians, when they leave the shore of this country to even South Africa here, we know what thing guys they do. Kenya. I'm not talking about Europe. I'm not talking about America. I'm talking about even Africa. These people, when it comes to risk, opportunity, their strengths and their weaknesses, they don't joke with them. Nigerians, as a Nigerian, when you wake up, the first thing you look out for is the opportunity of the day. Opportunity of the day. Then you begin to look at the strength you have to outsmart others in the opportunity. Opportunity day, everybody that day for the same opportunity, but you as a Nigerian, you are looking at yourself. You are looking at your area of strength
And your specialization.
Yes, the exact authority now to outsmart every other person. And the next thing you are looking for is their weaknesses, such that even if they want to counter your own strength, you still have their loopholes at everybody. And that is why when Nigerians get somewhere, they tend to take more of the leadership roles, because that's how we are built. The first thing you move for is the opportunity. Then you begin to look for the weaknesses of those around you in the opportunity, and you find out your own strength. And the next thing is to put yourself as the authority and take charge. Anywhere you see Nigerians not taking charge, it means that there are superior authorities. They have not yet found their weak point. The day Nigerians begin to find your weak point, the day you begin to use your authority, whoever it is you are. It happens in politics. It happens everywhere. A politician today is not looking for just opportunity. As much as it's looking for opportunity, he's looking for weakness of others. Yes, he's looking for your weakness, and he's trying at the same time build strength for himself. When a Nigerian comes to a foreign land, the first thing they look out for is the point of strength. When they see the strength is in academics, no worry, it goes there. They go school with that. They will make sure to get the highest point of your certificate, no worry. PhD will be there. It's the matter of time. And they keep going every day till they get to that top. If it is job, skill, whatever it is, they keep acquiring those things every day. They did many jobs while they acquire those ones.
There are those draws that damage constant space.
Yes, they do the menial jobs just to acquire strength enough to do the bigger ones. That's Nigerians for you, and that's who we are. That's how we were taught. So if you say Nigerians take risk, it's not in Ponzi alone. It's every aspect of our life. Risk is normal to us.
Well, I feel shouldn't risks be calculated? Because now, looking at this issue of the policy schemes, now, I feel they should have calculated the risk and all that. And sometimes when people don't know when not to take risk and when to take risk. Like, let's start from this question first. Don't you see puzzle schemes as criminal?
Oh, well, I want you to know that CBEX did not just operate in Nigeria. They had, if not all the necessary documentations, at least they had some. They were authorized to do some level of business within the scope of MBA. So if they are allowed, I don't think there's anything criminal about it. And if they had been approved by some bodies in Nigeria, that means people can trust them. Simple as that.
So, having said all of these, even with what happened to the CBEC, the crash and everything, you think there should be any punishment, or there is a way they can call them back? They can talk about it, have a sitting, talk about it.
It's left for the government to see if they can track those people.
Okay.
as far as I know, I think they used probably a blockchain technology where a lot of things cannot be traced.
Wow.
Yes. That's why you have to invest your money in cryptos such that there's no account number and it is not within the reach and the control of the central bank of Nigeria. Central bank has nothing to do with it. You have to use a crypto wallet to fund the money. And once the money goes in the blockchain technology, a transaction is one way, except a counter transaction is made to reverse. You cannot reverse it. So once it's gone, it's gone. So a lot of things cannot be traced as of now, but I want to believe that if the appropriate body is working with appropriate international bodies like Interpol and some other ones, it is very possible for them to be able to pick one or two. There's no way there will be a crime and trace evidence will not be left behind. That's the belief of every forensic analyst. So
No, what we okay, you're into tech, so it's even great. I'm asking you this because I know you will know a lot of this in it to a very large extent. Because while we're asking about the criminality of Ponzi skills and all that, now I remember EFCC last week was talking about the fact that at pop they said they would try to get everybody their money, but now from what the reps and everybody are getting to us, it is very impossible from what they are saying right now. But then with the possibilities. You pointed out something that is very, 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 very vital. You talked about the place of crypto, the blockchain, Web3, where no authority can. Yes, it's basically lives. Yes, so this is risky to the country as we speak because now the first thing about this Ponzi scheme called CBEX was they were able to gain trust of people.
yes,
Very much. They gained trust. They operated for over a year. He got their necessary documentations because in the actual sense, they were well documented.
Yeah.
So it was very people invested. I'm very sure many politicians still invested their money inside them. Yes, many did. Many actually did. Even artists, some people did the same thing. And at the end of the day, they've crashed. They have left. And now we are saying, despite the fact that you still talk about the fact that the pipeline is Singapore and co, but now they are still finding it difficult to trace these criminals. Under the Web 2 and other systems, tracking criminals is way easier. We're not able to Web 3.
The may track people that like this problem is not Web3. This has nothing to do with Web3. Who are those who authorized those people? What documentations did they present to for authorization? Where is their source? Those who authorized them, what research did they make about these people before they authorized them? Do they just pay and get the certifications? Were there no job done by government bodies to before they allowed these people in the public, knowing the risk that is involved? So this is beyond just saying Web3, blah 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 blah. These people wouldn't be here in the first place if they didn't allow them. So this has nothing to do with Web3. Even with Web2, it will still happen the same way. How many people do you want to trace?
People with MMM, would you catch everybody?
And MMM was on. So me, I'm just saying that it does not really matter what they tell to the general public. If another one come tomorrow, the general is here too. There was the issues also ever try to hit so that's to now it is the work of those at those significant places to ensure that whatever is coming to the general public gets thorough verification before they are allowed. A lot of them just come, use one or press one or two buttons and boom, there they go. And the issue is even the buttons pressed, they have their permission.
So that is from your perspective, you feel we are the ones that open the doors to
them, yes, who if they are not allowed, they will not be here. So if we are looking at it from the perspective of it's dangerous as well, no.
So do you feel like there should be a restriction to things like Ponzi scheme in Nigeria generally? The decision to work on it, if I just stop it.
The issue is you cannot stop people from putting their money where they want to put it. You get? The only thing I feel the government can do is just to make sure that there are regulations that control those things, such that even if there is going to be loss, it's going to be minimal. You get? There are ways they can do it such that even if you are running something closer to this Ponzi, there's limit to what you can do. Whatever people are now going to lose at the end of the day will now be dependent on their level of bleed. You get? Because even if the government decide to not allow most of those things internally without the approval of the government, some people will still run one or two. And that one is very simple. So with all this, I just want to believe that if government can take their part, people can take their part, but I can assure you this cannot 100% be prevented. We must stop people from putting their money where they will be issued to put it. And one thing is, there will always be businesses and there will always be setbacks in business. Majority of our parents, they bought shares. Yes, those shares at the end of the day didn't do well. And they lost all those money. And everyone did not fall. But our own time now,
The banks that they've even bought shares from are still operating.
they are operating till tomorrow. Nobody's arresting anybody. But our own time, the boss is say, be like, say, shares don't go work. I think to these people like,
So let's talk a bit about Ponzi schemes and how they attract people to very large extent. I remember, I never heard anything about CBEX still when
a real crap.
before it crashed.
You know they listen to
Even by the way,
So Stephen, I just never see what's coming.
my thoughts today. So this look say.
So you, so the way so the tell me about and this one said you lost 1.2 million. This one said the best 3 million. I was now asking questions. Near was high.
now are you there, you?
This is not thankful like I was never involved. But then I began to think through myself that why is this thing so attractive? You know, people sometimes talk about the gains they get from it. I know of a friend that who's in this CBEX was a success story. That's what I count it as because
A lot of society, a lot of
his losses extremely minimal with his use because it just 450, but then they were over 2 million I think for it and all that because the funny thing was that his capital, he made the capital.
that's
For somewhere.
that's how far we can go when it comes to taking risk. Anyway, and actually, honestly,
Money to take nah, this person I'm talking about before he ran out of state. He has a huge debt. And it based ahead, he still also to lending $1 million. And I has still be there since the place to CBEX. Yeah. And from 6
we were able to
yes, 2 months, he did ×2 of the funds. From doing ×2 of the funds, he paid back the capital, paid all his debts, returned money, during the second month, used it for even set up his wife in business or at like whole lot of stuff. Then now when I just tested, I saw I had this desire, it's not that I don't mind.
now tell me the kind of preaching you want to preach. So that that you don't do bosses in next time. Now the issue is some of those Ponzi, some people have strategies when it comes to taking some of those risks. When you said the risk are not calculated, I agree because for some, it was really a lot perpetual risk takers. The risk might not be well calculated. But for some who are senior men in risk taking, they already know. So when platform like this come out, make sure to join the be at the top of the pyramid such that those at the bottom of the ladder, they will contribute to your success within the space. Because once you are able to join very early, even with little amounts, you get from referral bonuses from bringing others, you get more from what is coming from the system. By the time you accumulate all those together, you're already making enough. and the money you used to enter is not enough to break you as a risk already. Now, where it becomes problem is when people who are later coming in because of your own success story now have to do crazy case to come in, like probably sell properties to come in, borrow money to come in. Those ones are taking uncalculated risk because one, they need to ask how long this thing has existed. If the existence is far beyond 6 months, if we are going to join with me, because any system that pays more than 30% and be up to 30%, if I above 20%, you return every month, we later begin to survive on the money of those that are coming here. And if it gets out. Now, the issue is at one point or the other, it does not matter what is coming in. It will not be able to pay the existing members.
So we will get back to that. Get back to that. Let's quickly go for Gold Start actually, where we inspire people to do businesses and start up with whatever you have at hand now. We're not able to take risk like extreme risk, but just study to learn something, start up something that is valuable with whatever you have. So when we'll be back, we'll continue this discussion.
Welcome back to the show. If you just joined us in Daybreak Africa, I hope you have learned one or two things from Gold Start. And yes, before we went from Gold Start, actually, we were talking about Ponzi schemes and why Nigerians have this, long-lasting romance with Ponzi schemes and all of that. And I'm looking to answer some questions. Samson has been giving us some tips, seeing through the pros, the cons, and all of that. To a very large extent, I think I'm learning a lot from what he's saying, but I don't want to involve myself in Ponzi schemes because sometimes many of us don't like this. We like risk. Yeah, we take risk. Life itself is a risk. But there are some risks that I don't because I was watching so many videos of this. I saw on the sites, saw people trying to. Some of them went mad, like ran mad on their solo of videos.
Those were the ones who joined late towards the closing of the system, and they joined based on the testimony of others coupled with their greed. So that if you now say I put 1 million last month, by the end of this month I start to 3 million, I'll put 7 million. Now, the 7 million is not as if it's convenient. You have to source the money of this, of that. So now, the first thing is the money will be gone. Now, the money being gone is not the problem if you are the owner of the money. But now, where the problem comes is sorting the sources where the money came from. That's why a lot of people are affected. Now, some people even borrow the money that has interest. So even paying the debt is not the problem. Interest is accumulating. So it's double problem. So if you see people who had gone to the extent of committing suicide, those ones, they are gullible, they didn't calculate the risk, they came late, and they are greedy. Maybe they took the risk out of greed.
But then even the people organizing these things too, it's just greedy man, very greedy man, cunning man.
Some of them, because I still have to tell us some truth. Some of them, at the end of the day, they didn't start with the intention of running away with people's money.
Okay.
At some point, the things scattered that they were not able to mend.
Fix it again.
So the next thing is to Japan. Now, some of them, at the end of the day, were not even able to run away with money. They have tried to sort this one with this one's money, this one with this one. And they take to their heels. Some of them, at the end of the day, didn't necessarily run away with money. But some who had the intention to eventually sit down and pack away people's money, they know how to do it. So what they need to do is buy the loyalty of a lot of people. Other people will buy their own loyalty, just like creating a pedigree. Now, once people begin to buy each other's loyalty, it brings in more money to them. So they give out to keep the loyalty, but retain the large amount. So towards the time they are leaving, what they do is stop people from either withdrawing or something to hold money, while other people are still bringing in money. So they just find one thing to tell you and they want to do upgrade or they want to say it's not affecting anybody.
It has actually happened to me before.
It really-
That was like the thing is cloud. I don't know if you heard about it. Was cloud. I was able to invest, but I could not withdraw. You would not like how money, but I could not withdraw my money.
I think we need to recognize things like this, like puzzle schemes, because this past week, even some weeks before everything happened with CBEX, we already got news stories that Nigerian government is already working on ways to ensure that anybody that is a perpetrator or an organizer of puzzle schemes, jail terms, love rap, and everything.
That's those that wow. At the end of the day, apprehended. What of those they were not even proud. It is what it is. You see, the way this world runs, some people will always be predator, some will always be prey. The issue is you choose where you belong or where you will want to belong. The issue is some people will always have bad mindset about something, some people will always fall victim. You need to, everybody needs to begin to tame, the devil inside them, which is the greed. If you are not greedy enough, even if you are going to lose money, it will not be the one that will eventually kill you. If you are compelled to be involved in Ponzi, use the money that will not kill you. Some people have some money stored up for things like that. Yes, they keep money for opportunities like Ponzi because they always want to be the first to land. So they say this one come out and they give you 100K. Put that one first. Let's see what happens. Those money, they are meant for that purpose. Some people have money like that in their business. They are meant for risk taking. So if it goes, they begin to keep another one for the next opportunity. And there are some, once they put them, it lasts a very long time, like 1 year, 2 years, and they make a lot of money from it. They go back to their place. They have kept another one. So once that one breaks down, they are looking for another one. That's what they do for living. And people like that, you cannot convince them otherwise.
No matter what government does.
They will not change.
Whereas government even have people like even
So the best thing is to, if a business you really do not know much about, you don't know the in and out, you have to rely on the third party to be able to don't put yourself in those trouble. That's the only advice I can give. But to tell people to stay away from Ponzi, some people will never hear you. That's what they do. So and they know how to, find their levels.
some people do well with policy.
Because it does not last for a very long time, it's difficult to grow with.
So why then stress yourself with it?
It's able to sort some sometimes at the moment.
Okay.
A lot of people completed their houses with next. Some people finish their PhD, some people they have a lot of money to pay. They do
Paid huge money
yes.
from MMM, for their wedding, for their house rents, for everything they did.
People like that, if they see another opportunity, they will still do. Yes. So if the hall close now, catch their hand, they will say, that one, let's go. No,
I even know of someone.
that's it.
So I even know of someone that withdrew his money like a weekend for his wedding, and the following week something crashed. The guy withdrew his money for his own wedding party. After that week, something I was like, he's so glad that
He grateful to God that he actually had something for the wedding.
seriously, I'm so happy.
If it had crashed before the wedding, you have to sort other means or probably postpone the wedding.
There's no money to work. One of the things I discovered because in this generation, it's not just now about CBEX or milk or those things. I've observed even the youth of Nigeria now are going into money markets. When I mean money markets, forex, crypto. When policy defined, forex, crypto, this and repeats. Betting apps.
Seriously, that betting app.
Betting apps. Betting apps is the most trendy. Like there's hardly anyone in Nigeria you find that is going to either crypto, forex, or betting. Either of those three. And it's making us lose people. And we need to observe that the skill set, proper skill set, gradual growth to wealth is missing in this generation. Now, what do you think? Because normally, from time, wealth is supposed to be something that should be gradual. But now we have seen people that they don't want gradual. Nobody wants gradual like this generation, and everybody just wants something. at the same time. How do you check this as society? Because it's making people do a lot of crazy things.
You see, we need to understand that every generation have their peculiarities. And this current generation, when it comes to uh, 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 making it, you see, it has a lot to do with how fast we are able to do it. That was why, there was a time when I think the former Minister of Education was saying, if you are not up to this so age, you will not be able to write jam, you will not be. I said these things might not be very, very useful at this present age, because the advantage you have in this present age is time and achievement. What you are able to achieve in the shortest possible time. I've seen people in their 28 with PhD, 28, 29 with PhD. I have seen people who got their PhD at 65. In fact, retirement, they were going out of service when they had their PhD. But if you look at our own generation, everything is fast. Fast food, fast track, fast. Everything has to be fast, because there's no time to waste time. You get now? So this generation and time, they are 5 and 6. Everything has to be on track at every time. Now, because the push is coming from so many places. It's coming from so many places. And with the trend of things, opportunities in the internet, everything coming around, people making money, both legally and illegally, and every other thing, it contributes to people wanting to make it very fast. So a lot of people felt left behind when they still go back to vocational and technical skills, when they can just come to the internet and see the way others are doing it, and they just do it. So at some point, you feel like you are failing if it's taking too long for you to be at some specific level. So at the age of maybe 25, 30, if you don't have probably a car or a house of your own, you feel like a failure. It was not like that in the generation of
Definitely.
majority of them didn't have, even what we have at this age, majority of them didn't have it at our age. Yes, if I begin to correlate the age of our firstborn, the age of my father, then the years of their marriage, I'll be able to deduce that this was the age my father got married. Now, that age is nothing less than 35. Yes. Because my father eventually died close to 80, about 78. And as at that time, our firstborn was about maybe around 35.
I was married late.
Very late. Very late. I am not up to 35. I am married with kids. I have business and other stuff. My father didn't have most of what I have now at this age. So the advantage was there. He didn't have my level of education. So he couldn't have had most of what I had. He didn't have the opportunity. I have the businesses I have today. Most of them were what I didn't learn in school. I learned them after school. But most of them were tech skills that were able to give me money, because I was able to solve some specific problems and important problems in people's business. And they don't have choice, they have to pay me, because these problems, they want them solved, they want their business to scale, and a lot of stuff. We just launched another product recently, Impression. This product is specifically for business. It's just to put you everywhere, to help you go viral. And a lot of people, content creators, a lot of businesses, they wanted to go viral. They have to pay us to go viral. My father didn't have that kind of business
In his own days.
at less than 35. So he couldn't have made the kind of money.
Civil servants.
Some of them were working on their father's farm for their parents, even at our age now. So same age, time, and everything, we need to look into the generations and their peculiarities. So I think age, earning and prosperity, they are different from each generation. And our own generation now, everything is on fast track.
Fast track like that. But do you think that can make us last well? Because honestly, do you think it can make this generation very solid?
If this generation is not lasting very long like our forefathers, a lot of factors will contribute to them. A lot of what we consume these days were not even available in the days of our fathers, which has to tell on our health. A lot of us lives in big ACs now. There were no big ACs in our father's time. We use microwave, use this, use that.
Fresh air was the best way.
So they sit on that tree. Oxygen coming from the tree replace the carbon dioxide coming from there, everything fresh. When you get inside AC, do you even know what you are breathing in and out? And so the issue is all of those things, majority of them survived on fresh fruits and vegetables. Majority of our own consumption now are industrial processed food. So if they are saying our generation is not lasting like our forefathers, well, a lot of factors will contribute to that. Majority of us are even obese at the moment because we take a lot of bullshit, and before you know, belle don come. Small thing, belle don come. I saw my picture few years back. I can't believe it was this same me.
Looking lame.
Yes, and those things, it is what it is. It happened. That's where we are now. That's where we are. So a lot of things could contribute to that, but this generation, I want you to know that there's something special about especially the Gen Z. Those ones, they don't get patience for anything.
I still think how the next thing. Is even still better because we are the transition.
Yes, we are the connection between the old generation and the new generation. Our generation is the last generation that saw the beginning of internet.
Yeah, definitely.
But that one gone. There will actually be, if I will be reading the history of internet from the books, we saw it. They didn't see it. Our parents, they saw it. They didn't use it. We saw it. We started the using of those things. Now we are the ones teaching these people, but these people, they seem a bit crazy than us. Gen Z does not have time for anything. They don't even want to hear because they believe they can run everything on their own.
Yeah, which is
Zero into capacity because a lot of capacity have been built before their arrival. The arrival, we already crossed from analog to digital before they came. So they felt like the world had always been digital before their arrival. They never knew that a set of knowledge has been existent before they came. They don't want to even hear it. They will say if an elder is sitting down, what he sees, if a younger person climbs roof, he say no, they will run it with no. Okay. Don't tell them anything wrong here, don't be seen. Which is these things, they are just beyond those interpretations. They are just beyond using drone. Really,
because like now we're talking about still in this model doesn't scheme. You said something and I'm still kind of putting my point on it. I feel like the positives to investments to risk taking.
yes,
Both positives. I have friends that made huge money from debt companies,
yes.
made huge money from forex.
There are a lot of
Made huge
there are a lot of
from
youths making money from
I lost huge money on crypto.
Yeah.
I remember 2022 as a terrible year.
Okay.
I just came outside now and
Everyone,
I was going but that's not my friend's story. My friend made huge, extreme money from it and all that. But then I feel that, and I think the government will feel the same way. I think other society will feel the same way. That despite the many plus, the many positives, there are extremely a lot of negatives to it. And this is the problem there is trying to, and I feel adages and warnings is not just to make you not do something. I feel it should make you to think more informed. I don't believe in calculated risk. I believe in informed risk. if I am informed, I know the factors to consider. Especially one of the scriptures will say that in the multiple of counsel, there is wisdom.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but this generation they don't even want the counsel.
No, I would not say they don't want. Some, because I still have some couple of Gen Zs who are still very much upright and they are always willing to learn. So I wouldn't want to generalize, but you see, it is peculiar to them, Gen Z, that they don't give a damn. They don't give a fuck. Prayers are to run in their way.
I don't know. I feel that just from the ideologies of people of even this generation that feel life should not be. So the ideas of this one has become the practice of this ones. So now the family don't communicate things like don't put this thing on unless you can confirm these factors to them to a point that at least it's we know that everybody will listen,
Yes.
but it can reduce the loss. Because at the end of the day, one of the things I discovered about not just the jerseys, naturally among the jerseys,
Yeah.
emotionally, you know, there are two things to life. There is IQ,
Yes.
there is EQ.
Yeah.
When we talk about IQ, the jerseys have IQs.
But their emotional quotient is very low.
It's not very low. It's not enough.
What did I did? They change it for you.
I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to change it. But I'm depressed very fast.
Yes.
Very fast.
Yes.
The people that commit suicide these days are from that age.
Because they are moved by results. You see, when they do things, they do not see failure as part of process of success. They just expect everything
Positive.
now. It's because they felt they had more resources and they are doing more. No, even our forefathers, they did more too. But it is what it is. It's not everything that will come out the way you expect. And what I think we need to begin to teach them is how to now begin to analyze things the proper way. You see, the elderly ones, the generation before us, if there's anything they had, is insight. They have the capacity to view and analyze. They might not be the talking type, but they are the doing type. And that's why majority of our politicians, they are within that range. Yeah. So they don't care about your noise. You can make the noise for all you care. But they are the doing type. They just do. And when they do, you cannot do. Yes, exactly. Parents don't care about your sorry because they feel like they have append that level of saying sorry to you even when they are wrong. They just want you to know that respect is number one, the most principal, and once you respect them, don't expect apology, which is wrong on the side.
That is
Then they are saying wrong. Now trying to do it, but they are doing it the wrong way. You want to fight somebody, but you are not able to sit down and calculate your own strength, your weaknesses, the strengths and the weaknesses of who you want to fight. You shall want to fight. It's happening everywhere, but majority of those fights, they really do not come out with the expected success. I don't want to talk more about politics, but it happened in 2023. Look at the obedience.
Okay.
Look at the way the movement was crazy. They wanted the result. They have the
Energy.
but look at the other way.
They don't understand.
That's why they really want something. They just do.
just do.
And women did the talking.
The loud minority, the silent majority.
The majority was doing the whole thing and it moves on. It is what it is. And that's how it will continue to be until probably the generation of the doers are no more. And with experience. I will now, because a lot of us now, we are outgrowing that level of making noises anyhow. We are losing the energy. Now we are getting to the point of doing now. Because age tells too. Once you cross that age of 35, Baba, The energy of that 25 no days of the ones let's not do this. The next thing is to begin to, because majority of things you do, they are not on the run anymore. They're on the seats. And plans that are made on the seats, analysis that are made on the seats, they are more powerful than the ones made on the run. So majority of the youth, and that's why it's difficult for us, even with the number of youth that we have. Youth is up to 70% of the majority, and we still are not able to do much because majority of the plan is on the run. But the remaining 30% are able to do much because majority of the plan is on seats. They are not even going anywhere. And they are using up to half of those on the run to perfect the plans they have built on the seats. And it is what it is.
So they put them really happen.
Yes. So now, to teach Gen Z to begin to sit and put stuff together, it's going to be difficult. When the energy is there, they want to run. Here. They cannot make constructive
Analysis.
to make decisive, very straightforward decisions on the move. So the energy is there, but it is what it is. And that's why you see a lot of them try this. If they really want to make it in one way, you need to sit down. It takes experience. A lot of people have made money from Forex, from crypto, but it took them time. A lot of people, as much as we say betting is this, I really do not support betting. But a lot of people are making money from betting because this is what they do. They took time to understand the nitty-gritty and they're doing it and they're making money. But those on the run, it will always be like that. They from this fail. And that's why they have reasons to try plenty things. Because they lack focus on one, which is difficult.
And anytime you are just on the heights to just the energy to receive something and you're so passionate about it without the right strategy, you fail.
And they get depressed.
So on the final note, just within 2 minutes, what's now the way out of all this? Ponzi schemes, maximum runs to achieve multiple things at the same time, but still we want economic prosperity, we want administration. How do we balance
I think you see the bulk of the decision to be made is still on the elderly few. That 30%, they have a lot to do. Using the energy of the 70 is happening in America. See what when Trump came, he needed to do a lot of stuff. He needed to uncover a lot of things that have been done by previous administrations, a lot of fraud and every other thing. What he did was to sit down with some elderly people, put the structure together and invite the younger ones, perfect these things and carry it out. And it was perfect. When Elon Musk came, Elon Musk is the eldest in his school. Every other ones are Gen Z. He brought those guys well coordinated. If you see the way these people uncovered crime, fraud, within the space of little time, because they came with every gadget and intelligence. They did the work perfectly. So the work is to bring the gap between the old and the new, for the old to sensibly put the plan and allow the new to use their energy, their intelligence to put it in place. That's why me, personally, I have issues when the seat of power are filled up with
Older people.
there's no place for even the youth to expend that energy. You people, you have the let's agree that you have the sense. You don't have the energy. If the minister is an elderly person, let the state minister be the deputy, be the youth. If this man cannot fly everywhere to oversee things, let the younger ones that can fly. Let the Baba plan this thing. Okay? Tell them this is what we want. Let him go. I was hoping by now that all other African leaders will agree that Traore should be their spokesman in Africa. International spokesman. That guy gets sense. He get the energy. That guy is a very young guy. I have seen him handle issues. He might have his own flaws. But if that guy is meant to represent Africa on international floors, a lot of things will change. What they need to do is for those elderly ones to come together and see proper ways to put things and let these younger ones go and implement. So,
Sometimes I feel many of them are still very egotistical for things like that.
to now succumb to younger ones is going to be issue.
That's the issue.
That is the issue of your grandfather.
Exactly.
It's well. I just think by the time we just come where we learn to take more calculated risk and all that, like you said rightly, so far Nigerians, it's been very difficult to not make people take huge risks, especially if it takes systems. Now that just hope that many times we make, like you said, calculated or well-informed risks
Yes.
our market and all that. I just hope that I think many who has invested their money well, I just hope you are wiser as time goes by, not to lose as much as possible. But then it's very important for someone like me. I was thinking that we even drive at the place of things, more good meeting with labor to as well. But like you said rightly, the times we had the patriarchs of our generations and everything sometimes hinders so many factors. For them, it's still good to also learn from the age-old wisdom, which gives us that. But thanks so much, Samson, for being a part of this discussion. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate that. At least it's good to start with this on a good work day like this, because I know many of you have enjoyed the weekends, many have lamented over the weekend, but it's a good way to start this whole day. So go out there, try again, keep on doing the right things, make well-informed decisions, make more calculated risk, and yes, you will be happy. But it's time to go for sports actually and enjoy the sports. After sports, we will come here and say our conclusions on Daybreak Africa. Stay with us for the right time.
Welcome back to the show. I hope you enjoyed Spet as much as I did. And yes, I hope you enjoyed the discussions too for today.
Of course I do. I really learned a lot. So basically Nigerians, we are risk takers. It's part of our DNA.
Extremely weak takers actually. And he said, Samson said a whole lot of things that I really think, even I was thinking the discussion we go to a place of just, I love people to, but then I learned a lot from it that normal risks is part of us. Caution, very true. He says. But then one of the things he made as a statement there was, you need to learn to make calculated risks.
Risks.
If you want to put your money on something, be well informed about it. And one of the truths, the harsh truths it brought to us was, there is nothing you do in this life that will bring you 100% or 80% return of your capital within a space of 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. So even a bank today did that. So the minute you already see people promising you that, already know that it's not something that is going to last.
Wow.
So that's not a unique staking in wisdom, which we need to all learn and all that. And like you said, the government, because most of what they did in the government too, evolved and naval permitted these people to actually operate in the country. But let's just say the Winkies. And at the end of the day, so it all boils down back to me as a person, make informed decisions.
I'm very sure.
Be very sure of what you do. And as you are adding updates too, this idea is this.
Exactly. And he also mentioned the fact that when things like this are being done, you should make inquiry, like calculated risk. Know the year, the months that thing started before you put your money, because some of those things, they're already at the end of crashing. You're just investing your money. Very sure. Is it within 2 months or 3 months? Be sure before you invest.
All of this I think I liked that I said was, even the people that go into these Ponzi schemes, they don't go into the intentions. So when you run away, sometimes they definitely run to wrong. So you should understand that you see, one of the things is just like you said about jerseys and all that, a generation of people that are trying to make decisions without the proper information. You might even start a business without the proper strategy, and at the end of the day, you are making decisions on the run. And people will still invest on your business while you are doing it on the run. At the end of the day, your good intentions could become a false to someone else. So the best thing that we can all do to ourselves is to sit again on the round table and try to strategize, make informed decisions, make informed strategies to go about anything we do. Anything we make on the table is the most perfect state that you can ever find in the world. But then, as we go by on Daybreak Africa, we'll keep bringing the tips of wisdom, great discussions, and all those kind of things. So not small, my name doesn't change, still remains here that usually.
And my name is Miracle Odunayo.
Bye for now, guys.